So getting about 5 gallons a day per maple tree. Black walnuts, and they were not running today. Of course, it won't do you a lot of good if your hose isn't in the bucket. There we go. And here's the other maple tree. So all I did was buy the taps on Amazon. They're just little plastic taps. I'll probably try metal taps next year. And you want to tap your tree above the biggest roots in the tree, preferably, and on the sunny side, because that's where the sap will travel. And then I ran them down to just a soup can, old soup can, wash, put some holes in it, put this tubing in it, and it fills up nicely. This is 24 hours. This maple tree is insane. Smoke follows beauty, apparently. Ah. So after getting up at 6 a.m. this morning, I finally see the light at the end of the tunnel. 40 gallons of maple sap produces 1 gallon of maple syrup. So the reason I got into this is about 5 years ago, a good friend of mine recommended a book, and it was a life story of Daniel Boone. And in that book, there was a passage about how Daniel Boone and his wife Rebecca every year used to go out and tap maple trees here in North Carolina to make maple syrup. They would make maple sugar, and they would tap black walnut trees and probably many others. So I looked on my property and I have several black walnut trees, but I only have 3 maple trees. So the first train of thought for me was to watch some YouTube videos and kind of figure out how to do it. A few bucks to Amazon, and then I was on my way. So I tapped the black walnut trees and they were producing some sap, but not a lot. So I decided to tap the 3 maples on the property, and it was like night and day. I was getting about 5 gallons a day for each maple tree. So even though I only had 3 maple trees tapped and 6 black walnut trees tapped, I ended up with 40 gallons of maple sap in about 6 days, whereas I only had about 6 gallons of black walnut. Black walnut's good. It's a little different flavor, but it takes a lot more usually to make the same amount of syrup. So like 40 gallons of maple makes 1 gallon of maple syrup, and 60 gallons of black walnut makes 1 gallon of syrup. So good thing I have the maples, because that's been pretty easy other than collecting firewood and cooking it. Literally got up at 6 a.m. and have been at it all day. Won't render the rest of the sap down until the morning, but the object, from what I read, is to get it to about 218 degrees, and then it's syrup. So we will see. So next year, or maybe even this year, it depends on how things go, I'm gonna tap paper birch. I have a lot of paper birch on the property, and people say that's really good, so I'm gonna give it a shot. It's supposed to be good for like glazes and cooking. So looking forward to trying that, but it's been pretty cool. And if you don't mind a lot of smoke in your face and chopping wood and a long day or two, it's not all bad. You get to listen to the birds and watch the river here. It's been fun, and I'll definitely do it again next year. This is it, the last bit. Pouring what's left in here is the concentrated stuff. I'm gonna boil it down in the morning because I've been up since 6, it's almost 8. I'm gonna get this knocked out in the morning, make my syrup then. But right now I gotta pour it in this bucket and try not to drop any, because this stuff is liquid gold at the moment. 40 gallons down to 1 gallon. This last one's, I'm gonna let this one boil down a little bit more, because the more you do outside, the less you have to do in the kitchen, because things can get a little sticky. So about another 15 or 20 minutes, and I'm done. I will see you all tomorrow. So we're at 212, we need to get to 218. I got an alarm set on that.